What's going on, people? Episode 16, Formula Fiends podcast. You know what they say, Sweet 16.
Who says that?
And NCAA basketball.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Coming off a hot weekend in Japan. Really excited to kind of dive into this what did we call it?
What?
Debrief.
Debrief.
We are
Yeah.
debriefing the race. Yeah, very excited about Japan. I think we kind of discussed it, but this fourth race has been the best race of the season.
The trend is going.
Yeah.
Right? We've been saying just race by race, we're just getting better and better. That means China's going to be a banger.
I think it is. I
It's-
think
it's gotta be.
It has to be.
Great racetrack, too.
Great racetrack. It's in China.
Williams won't be racing. No more cars.
Oh, I thought that was
joking.
serious.
I'm joking.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll probably touch on more on China next week, so make sure to tune in for that one.
Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out.
Yeah, or don't.
Yeah, actually, you do you, man.
Yeah, do whatever you want. Yeah, so Japan, watched it at 10 p.m. here, Pacific Coast time. Great race. Obviously, Red Bull won 1-2, but some really good midfield battles. We had some good action, a couple DNFs. Good race.
Yeah, it's weird on paper. Like, if you look at the standings, it looks like the most standard, boring race ever. Like, everyone's kind of positioned where they're supposed to be, besides, like, the Lance Stroll outlier. But maybe that's where he's supposed to be.
I think that's where he's supposed to be.
That's where he's supposed to be. But, yeah, like you said, turn one was fun. Saw some good overtakes in some unique spots. And it all came down to that red flag and then everyone going on different tires, which was fun.
Yeah, I think what was interesting is it started with a bunch of different strategies. Like, you look at the tire type from the beginning, and it was like rainbows, which I love to see.
Yeah, it made me think, like, I wish there was a way to do this every race where it wouldn't just be like everyone's on the one tire, pits at the same time,
Yeah.
boom, done.
Same tire again.
Like, different strategies make good racing, even on a track like Suzuka where it's not known for overtaking at all.
Yeah, saw some really good overtakes. Checo, double Mercedes 130R overtakes.
Yeah,
That was pretty sick.
dude, that Mercedes did not look great
No,
here at all.
No, it did not.
Should we just start with them?
Yeah, we can start with
okay. We're
Mercedes.
gonna go team by team is the idea. We might get sidetracked, but that's how we're gonna start it out, so we don't miss out on anyone.
Yeah,
Mercedes.
Well, I remember Lewis saying he had some problems.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
What were his problems? Do you know?
I think he got damage or something. I want to say he had like side pod damage. Don't quote me on that. I want to
Okay.
say he had damage from like an early, just like an early turn in the race. And that's why he let George through.
Yeah, that was such an insane radio message.
Yeah.
Like, should I let George through?
Yeah,
And I
something like
saw
that.
a meme where it was like Nico Rosberg, like PTSD, like him, and is that radio message, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, he was kind of being a cuck, but like, I guess because we were making fun of him, we're like, oh, Lewis washed. Like, he just wants to go to Ferrari. And then I found out later that he might have had damage. He might have also not had damage, and he's just washed.
Yeah, he could be. I mean, George beat him once again. So it just doesn't seem like he has any motivation at all to like make the team better anymore.
No, I think it felt like he used to be more interested in like the engineering aspect. Like, we need to focus here on the car, but now it's like, you guys work on the car. I'm driving as best as I can, but it's like, it's not
like,
enough.
Like last year we were hearing from him like almost every race, like, come on team, let's keep pushing.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for the people at the factory. Let's go. We're making improvements.
Yeah.
And radio silence this year, it feels like.
Yeah, but that also just could be like F1 putting that narrative on us, like not showing us
Like he's not in like the limelight or whatever it's called.
They just don't show us like all the radio messages.
Yeah.
He could be like, I love you, Toto.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know.
We would not.
No, they would definitely put that.
I should probably listen to all the, you know how F1 posts the radio messages of each driver as a YouTube video at the end of the race?
Yeah, I think you can listen to it live for free.
Really?
Yeah. Sky Sports, I believe. It's like some package or something.
Yeah. But yeah, just a very mid weekend for them.
Yep.
They were like, honestly, as a team, last in the top teams.
Yep.
So
Are we including Aston Martin?
yeah, Aston
Okay.
Martin's part of that. So it's like the top 5.
Okay.
And it's just, yeah, I know it's like not a Mercedes track at all, but like with a team like Mercedes, I feel like you don't have an excuse for that at all.
No,
Like,
not really.
It's technically not a Ferrari track either, but they did great.
Yeah, even McLaren did better.
Yeah.
George looked strong at the end. You remember that?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I don't really understand what that was. Maybe like they're just good. They had a good stint at the end with like Dag or something.
Yeah, or got the strategy wrong and he was like too fast at the end. Like,
Yeah.
honestly,
That probably happened.
who knows?
But I'm happy for George.
yeah, it was. I got a little nervous with him behind Alonso at the end.
Yeah,
I wonder if he had any PTSD, but I'm sure he's fine.
because he passed Piastri. He Piastried.
He Piastried. Yeah, so Piastri finished 8th, which was
Okay.
tough.
Yeah, that was tough.
I just think if we want to move on to McLaren, I think McLaren just shit the bed on strategy.
Interesting. I don't really remember their strategy.
Remember
well.
Lando pit really early, and he's like, "Why so early?" And we're like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then they put him on the hards, and it was extremely mid. And then I think he went on something else after that, and just like, I don't know, it just seemed like if the Ferraris could got in front of them that easily,
Mhm.
they did something wrong.
Yeah, because he started third,
Yeah,
which is like pretty good. I think in that kind of scenario, when you're probably going to be as strong as Ferrari, maybe a little less. Just kind of do what they do.
yeah, but you don't know if Ferrari's gonna get it right. Like this is a
That's
rare,
true.
like
That's
Ferrari got it right kind of scenario. If anything, you follow Red Bull, but very different cars, and you can't really do that. I've thought about that in the past, but you know your car. It's like you got to think what is best for your car.
It just seemed, it did seem way too early.
Yeah, and then like I think he realistically should have been battling Sainz for a podium, but like even Leclerc got ahead of him, and Leclerc started 7th.
Yeah,
Like that's not a good strategy.
it could also be their race pace just wasn't that good.
I heard the strategy was bad from someone. I forget who. I
Okay.
think it might have been in an interview or something.
Could be both.
Yeah, it could be both. I'm sure. Yeah, Ferrari did have a little bit of an advantage because they do have the second best car. But yeah, it's just tough because I feel like this is a track that suits McLaren, so they might not have that kind of advantage for a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. I think China could be decent.
I'm really excited for China. I've never watched a race there,
Me neither.
so and
It's
known
like a pretty cool track.
known for good racing, some history. Yeah. You got to try it in the sim. Turn
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, whatever. That thing is so crazy.
Oh my god.
It's so hard to get it right.
So that's a pin?
Yeah, but it like you go around it fast. Like the first entry turns kind of like almost like Japan
Oh,
where you
whoa.
go fast and then you like slow down as you go around and then
Gotcha.
you cut back.
And there's another one.
yeah.
Whoa. Doesn't Max said it was, or I think it was Checo said it was medium to high speed, but it doesn't look medium to high speed.
It is basically everywhere, but here. It's pretty high speed.
Yeah.
Like
Looks
if
like a
you-
lot of
if you drive on the
180s.
sim, it's pretty high speed. And from what I remember on the sim, it's like a pretty wide track,
Okay.
which
So
is
maybe
great.
that's why.
Yeah, and
It's so good for
which we
racing.
need because these cars are massive, as we've said many times before.
Yeah. We got some big cars.
Make them smaller, please.
I heard also, I didn't notice this in the race, but apparently the temperature changed halfway through the race.
Oh, halfway through,
Yeah.
I didn't hear
And
that.
and that completely changed like a lot of strategies because I think it went from hot to cloudy or something.
Interesting. I
'Cause remember it
knew-
was sunny.
I knew it was hotter at the start of the race than it had been all weekend, which
Yeah.
can fuck them up sometimes. But I
Yeah.
didn't hear that part, which is interesting.
Yeah, I think it changed, so they went for like some different shit. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's why some people were struggling on tires and
Yeah, we'll
Late.
have to look into some data.
couldn't get the warmth in them. I don't know. Who knows?
We should know.
We should know. We should probably, but like we don't get the data.
No, we don't get
Like
the data.
all we hear is what F1 tells us and other media people tell us and the teams.
Yeah.
But it's a speculation pod some of the time. Most of the time.
It's not good. It's not good to tell the viewers.
They know. They should know.
God damn.
Okay.
But overall, McLaren, subpar.
Yeah. Just kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
Now let's move. We talked about 2 teams in the top 5. Let's go down to Williams.
Williams. I mean, not a lot to say.
Probably one of the worst weekends you can have.
Yeah. Logan Sargent spun out towards the end. Or not spun out.
I think
or
he
how
was
would you say
running.
that?
Yeah, it's kind of like a spin out. Just lost control.
Yeah, lost control.
Went in the gravel. He was running 11th, I think.
Really?
When he did that. Yeah. I think on merit too.
That's
so
insane.
he was having a really good race, and that's what he really needed to have was a good race. And then just lost it in Degna too.
Yeah.
And honestly, it would have been like if you're doing that, bring out a little safety car, get stuck in the gravel or something. That could have really spiced up the race.
Why would he want the safety car?
No, I'm not saying he would. I
Oh.
do as a viewer. But like, if you're gonna do that, you might as well.
Yeah, that would be nice.
No, I don't think you saw this. I think you left early, but in the cool down room, the drivers saw it on like the screen, and they're like, "How did he not spin out? Or how
Damn.
did he not like get stuck
beached?
in the gravel?" Yeah, and
That's funny.
maybe he's just goated at
Yeah,
reverse.
he could be goated.
He's just goated at reverse.
Logo.
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 That's kind of funny.
Logo.
Latifi and Logo.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then he crashed in practice 1, which was expensive.
Yes. Albon, obvious.
Obvious crash in Ricardo.
Racing incident, which we were discussing. It looked like it was completely, or not maybe not completely, but it looked like it was more Albon's fault.
I looked at it again, and
Oh.
I'm like almost more Ricardo's fault.
Really?
Because he turned over pretty aggressively. But like we were saying when we were like live watching it, Albon shouldn't have had his car there.
Yeah.
Like, you
especially
can-
like turn, what was it? Turn 3,
Turn 3,
2.
technically, yeah.
It's like, earlier in the race that you probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I think he just got such a good run on Ricardo that like he didn't want to slow down to get behind him. I think Albon was almost racing. Who was that? Stroll? Was it Stroll on Ricardo's inside? I believe.
Probably.
And I think he was kind of thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get Stroll. I'm gonna let Ricardo through, and then I'm gonna get Stroll on the next corner.
Okay.
But it just Ricardo came over quicker than I think he thought, and didn't work out.
I don't even think he came over that quick.
He did.
Really?
It was pretty quick.
I'd have to re-look at it, but it seemed like it wasn't that quick.
Yeah.
It looked like he was just doing his thing.
Because he was anticipating Stroll coming over at him, even though they weren't side by side fully. It's just he was playing it safe
Yeah.
and just wasn't looking over there. It would have been interesting to see what the stewards would have said if that wasn't like a lap 1 incident.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because lap 1, you kind of have the lap 1 energy where it's like racing incident. It's hectic. You have cars everywhere, shit like that. Cold tires. And then, but that's like mid through the race. Then whose fault is that?
Yeah,
And it's just them two. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, like just them two like battling.
Yeah.
I think it might be on Ricardo
I don't know.
because he didn't give any space.
Well, then it completely changed the scenario because then Lance isn't there.
Well, yeah, I'm saying Lance isn't there. Like, what are your thoughts?
Is
on
he
it?
still doing that same maneuver though?
Which honestly he wouldn't do though.
Yeah,
if
he wouldn't do.
knew-
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
he wouldn't do if he knew Albon was there. But
I don't know.
It's just
He
like
was
like
still
Albon's
well behind
never
him.
going to get that position, so don't put your car there.
Yeah,
I know
he
it's easy
was-
for us to say, but especially when your team's having like cockpit monocoque, whatever it's called, chassis issues.
Yeah.
Like, don't put yourself in such a risky area. And it was like he was also on softs too, which I think was part of his motivation. He's like, I got to use these softs to get ahead early. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one.
You got to finish the race there. I think he was also just so. It wasn't even like he was so far back. Like it was like he was like the back third of Ricardo, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't even like he was maybe in front. It's like,
Yeah,
no.
that's what I was saying. I don't think he was going for Ricardo there at all. I think it was just he was going to play it, but just got cut out. And it is what it is.
Squeezed me. He sounded so sad.
Yeah, he's probably just so frustrated. I'd be yelling. I guess he might have done that, not on the
He
radio.
probably did.
But I wonder what James Vowles is going to say.
He's going to be like, it's okay. Everything's fine.
We at Williams are going to work very hard to get the cockpit back. Blah, 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 blah.
Call it the chassis, bro.
Dude, I know. Once I said that, I was like,
The cockpit.
the cockpit.
It's a classic Aiden Hubbell joke.
Okay, move on from the flop of the weekend, I would say. And then let's move to
Logan finished, though. That's a high.
finish last.
Yeah, well, Albon didn't finish, so.
Great. Okay, let's move on to a more uplifting team. For one of the drivers.
Oh.
Visa Cash App Red Bull Racing.
Okay. Yeah, I actually wanted to get into this because, hey, man, Yuki, points.
He put it exactly where he needed to.
Yeah, he did. I think he great qualifying. 10th place. He's been qualifying very, very well the whole year. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty hyped about that. Made it into Q3 well. Obviously qualified 10th, and then kind of just played his race, and then you remember the pit stop. That was huge.
Shout out the mechanics. That was huge. He jumped like 3 places from that. 2,
maybe 1 or 2.
I know it was at least Bottas, and I think it was.
I think it was a
else.
Williams too. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was Albon. No, not Albon. Logan
maybe at the time. I don't know. It was mixed up.
And then it was like
That was a
5 cars
huge
in the
one.
pits, and they just kept it under control. And Yuki came out in front.
Yeah. He was having a good race before that, I believe. Yeah. I think he was kind of in the 10, 11, 12 area. But yeah, and I loved how he was like shouting him out too. And he was saying,
yeah, well, because it's huge. It's just like that saves him. He comes out in open air, and it saves him fighting with people.
yeah, that was awesome.
Huge.
And the car, I think, just had more pace than those other teams at the time.
Yeah, and at home, pretty sweet. Fans love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Points. I wonder, because I think, is that his first points he scored in Japan?
I believe so.
I wonder when the last Japanese driver to score points was.
F1 posted something. I want to say like 2016 or something.
Okay, that's not that long, but still cool. Still very cool.
Kumui or something.
Yeah. I'm not even going to try.
Daniel Ricciardo, we kind of touched on it, but crash.
Yeah. He actually didn't have a horrible weekend before that. I'd say he qualified decently well because he was 5/100ths behind Yuki at the end of it.
Yeah.
And he only had FP3 to practice.
True.
But the crash is huge. He lost like 5 places at the start, I think. Very slow starter. Yeah, he dropped down a lot because I think he was on hard tires, I want to say. But still unacceptable. Like, I think he had a lot of wheel spin, and then...
Because a lot of people are on hards. It's not really valid.
Yeah. And then crash with Albon, which, like we said, racing incident. But, dude, if this continues, it's sketchy.
Liam Lawson. You see those memes?
Lawson. Dude, the cameramen are savage.
Yeah.
They're like showing him sad, and then they pan Liam Lawson just in his garage. Like,
it's insane.
Wild. But do you think he's making it through the season?
I don't know. The thing is like this happened with Nick DeVries, correct? Where it was it directly halfway through?
No, it was, I think, 2 races before the end. 1 or 2 races before summer break.
Oh, summer break. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know exactly when it was. Middle.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on if this keeps happening. Because again, we're only 4 races in. I think around the 6 mark, you kind of need to look at yourselves and think, what are we doing? Especially Yuki's got 8 points, 7 or 8 points.
He's doing really well. Let me
he's in
look.
11th.
And I think, which is crazy, is that, so yeah, Yuki's in 11th. Then it's Lance Stroll with 9. So Yuki has 7 points. Lance Stroll's 9. Lewis Hamilton has 10
Yeah, I
points.
saw that.
Like, that's like he's in a
Yuki?
good spot.
Yeah.
Ollie Behrman's in 12th, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he's doing pretty much what he needs to be doing at the time, and he's improving. It's not like these points are coming from the first and second race.
Yeah.
It's like the past 2 races he's done very well.
And Lewis did miss out in Australia because of his engine problems, which really isn't his fault. So that gap to George would be less. But I just want to say,
George also DNF'd though.
When? Oh yeah,
Australia.
he did.
He's just
That's
dogging
true.
him.
That's true. Good point. How did I forget about that?
Yeah.
And then I also want to point out Fernando Alonso 24 points, Lance Stroll 9 points
Yeah.
on total just merit.
Yes.
Should we just move? Should we just move to
Aston Martin? Yeah, I think that's a good segue. I think, Fernando actually had a very good qualifying, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think he got like 7th. No, Charles was at 7th.
I thought he was like 5th.
He might have been. He might have been. Yeah.
I think he might have been.
Actually, that sounds right. Like right behind
George. No.
I don't know. I got here. Let me check.
Pull it up.
I got the app up.
I believe he was 5th. So solid qualifying. And 5th?
Yep.
Okay. There
Good
we go. Solid qualifying from Fernando, per usual. And then did pretty much as expected in the race. I think we've been saying it all year. Just the Aston Martin race pace is just like not really there.
Yeah, they're hard on their tires. They're kind of like a less bad version of Haas last year, where like they would qualify well,
Yeah.
and then just kind of drop down a few places every time.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely better than...
Yeah, I know. Less extreme. That might not be a great comparison, but just the tire deck aspect of that.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, good race from him. I think I heard someone say that he said it was like one of the best races of his career.
What?
But I think he says that a lot. I think he was just...
Wait, Fernando said that?
Yeah, just like, I don't know, keeping the car up there. Because he's like,
Yeah.
he's battling some decent people.
True. It could be just a really bad car.
And he's just doing wonders
Yeah.
with it. And we would have no idea.
Well, he kept Piastri behind him and George behind him.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, yeah, we really don't know how good that car is because he's just a dog.
And then on to his teammate doing the complete opposite.
Pretty horrible qualifying.
Being a puppy, not a dog. Yeah. Out in Q1. Horrible.
Very unacceptable.
And then finished 12th during
Yeah.
the race, struggled to pass Yuki Tsunoda on soft tires with low fuel.
Yes.
And that's when we got that insane radio call. Remember it? Where it was like,
yeah. Unbelievable.
yeah, he's like, what was he complaining about the engine and his tires?
The acceleration.
The acceleration.
Or no, on the straights.
I think it was
Speed
something
on the
like that.
straights.
And he's like, I don't even know what he said, but just voice crack, sounded like a child.
Yeah.
Just not a great look for him. Sounds like he's just whining
Yeah.
when his teammate's doing well.
Because the acceleration, I remember, was like pretty decent. You remember we were looking at it? And like, I remember Aston Martin coming out of certain turns were just like going way faster than McLaren.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a McLaren issue.
It could have just been different in strategies, but I
Yeah.
remember Fernando Alonso going on softs at the start of the race. So that's full fuel, and he went 12 laps with good pace. And then Lance Stroll couldn't do anything with them late race, which is, it's just shocking. It's frustrating because I would love to see a better driver in that car.
Yeah, I would too.
Like Drugovich, get him in there.
Drugovich. Is he a reserve for
yeah.
someone?
He's the reserve driver for Aston Martin. He was like
Oh.
academy driver for them, everything. 1 F2.
That's
and he's
pretty
just
cool.
been on the sidelines. So, and I think he's pretty respected in the paddock.
Drugovich.
So,
What's that ethnicity? Russian?
No, I don't know. I think he's,
Dragovich. He could just be fucking Italian.
yeah, I want to say like, could even be like Brazilian or something.
Oh, I love a good Brazilian driver.
I think his name is Felipe.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah, Felipe Drugovich is Brazilian. Look at me.
Nice.
Look at me.
Get him in that car.
Wow,
That'd be a good.
that's a funny picture of him.
Yeah, they couldn't get his hair down.
Yeah, he's got
Looks
the
like
poof.
you.
He's got the poof.
He actually looks like you.
Yeah, he's got the poof, man.
He like genuinely looks like you, like same
No.
hair. Yeah.
The hair maybe a little bit.
Yeah, but like the skin tone.
Yeah,
Brazilian. Aiden's Brazilian.
I wish.
That'd be cool though to have another Brazilian driver. I feel like it's been a while.
Yeah, he just deserves it. I know we talked about it a lot, but I think it's a matter of time before
Lance
Big Papa comes in and says, you got to make a decision.
or like an ultimatum, like you need to finish top 8 this
Or else
season.
you're out.
Yeah,
Yeah. Would he actually do it? Who knows? But
maybe.
it would be interesting.
That'd be sick if you just got nasty.
Like his dad was like, you got to do this. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, some
Walks
pressure.
in.
Pressure breeds diamonds.
I don't think that's the quote.
Pressure creates diamonds.
Yeah, I think so.
Not breeds.
Makes.
Yeah.
Pressure makes diamonds. Pressure creates diamonds.
I don't know.
Either way.
Yeah, they both work.
Definitely doesn't breed.
Yeah. Rocks breed. If you really think about it.
I'll have to think about that one.
Yeah. Sit on it come back to me next pod.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just tough because it's like not a bad car anymore, and he's got to do well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Lance.
let's move on to kind of a sneaky one. I don't know what we're gonna say about them, but Haas. Anything to report?
Not much. I mean, I don't think they wowed me in quali.
No, I think K-Mag had a good overtake. I remember at some point, I believe.
Yeah, I don't remember much screen time.
Yeah, just a quiet race for them. Nico finished 11th, which is pretty
That's
good.
not bad.
Pretty good. And then K-Mag 13th. So
that's not that bad.
no, I think just
That's-
a quiet, solid weekend for them.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where they're at, and nothing more to report.
I don't think this track was necessarily the best for them. I
think
don't
it's
think it
one
was
of
the worst.
I think it's one of the worst.
Oh,
for them.
really?
I
You think so?
AO said it's going to
Oh.
be their biggest test of the beginning of the calendar.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
good, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Which I feel like if they got that, then that's good.
Yeah.
They're on the right track.
They're definitely on the right track because they were close to points. Close to points on your quote unquote worst track.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Or is AO just like downplaying everything so he looks like a god? 'Cause
Yeah,
remember,
good.
he's like at the beginning of the season, he's like, we're going to be the worst by far. And then they got some points, and then he's
Yeah.
like, worst track by far. They did pretty good.
AO could be fucking lying to everyone.
No.
Or
he's-
just classic F1 principle.
Yeah. No, he's really cool. If you haven't yet, go listen to his podcast on the F1 official podcast. What's
Off
it
the
called?
Grid?
Beyond the Grid.
Beyond the Grid.
Beyond the Grid. Very good. Show some insight into him because I really didn't know anything about him. Very nice guy.
Yeah.
Humble.
Good egg.
Is getting it done. Shout out.
Yeah. And he's got big shoes to fill after
Yeah.
Gunter.
Yeah.
So I think it seems like he's doing a decent job.
It seems like he's taking it as more of like because he comes from an engineering background with the team. So I think he's taking it from that perspective and just very like data driven and like, this is what we need to do. This is how we're going to do it. I think he's making some changes. I think he's like only 100 days into his job. And in the interview, they asked him, they're like, what have you, like in this 100 days, what do you think is like the biggest thing you've changed? And he's like, I feel like I haven't done anything. And I'm like, I
That's
respect
funny.
that. I respect that.
Yeah. Better than saying like, oh, I've done so much.
Yeah. He's just humble, and he's like, yeah, we're just trying to get it on track. I forget his answer, but it was good besides that.
Yeah. Sexy guy too. Very handsome.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Okay, man. A little sus.
Clip it.
Okay, and then Sauber.
Sauber.
2 slow pit stops again.
Yeah.
I think they were 4 seconds, and that felt fast for them.
Yeah. It's always scary. Like you're like 1, 2, 3. Oh my! Oh no! They're gonna be there forever.
Oh no!
And then they got out. But yeah, just another slow pit stop, and then just like nothing crazy.
Yeah, very mid.
Hopefully, I'm hoping Zhou has a good home race. I think that'd be cool for him. I think that'd be cool for the team. But I'm not really holding my breath, as they say.
Yeah. What did he retire with? I forget.
Oh.
Was it because they brought him into the pits?
I think it was a mechanical error.
Yeah.
Or like a fuel
overheating.
line.
Some, yeah.
It wasn't damage, I don't think. I think it was an internal issue.
Yeah, which is tough to see.
Just that reliability.
It's not going right, and I've said this before, but it sucks that these drivers can't prove what they have right now.
Yeah.
Especially when the team's about to switch like crazy for the better, likely. So, and then the tough ones, Alpine. So they brought upgrades.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Look slower.
Yeah, they did not look good.
If it wasn't for Logan going off, they would have finished plumb last.
Didn't Ocon have like a decent Q2 or something?
Let me pull it up.
I think he qualified. So he qualified into Q2, which is like, if you're an Alpine, you take that. And but then I think he qualified 15th.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But
I think he qualified like 13th in Q2 or Q1.
Interesting. That's like, but like most top drivers will just not go very hard.
Yeah, but
if
even just making it there.
Yeah, no, it's good for him.
Good for Ocon. I feel bad. I love Pierre though that or I guess both of them are just staying very positive.
I mean, what can you do? Doesn't help like shitting on the team or anything.
Yeah.
So it just would make it worse.
It would be cool if they had just like a crazy comeback.
Like a McLaren comeback?
Yeah.
From last year? That was awesome. Yeah, that'd be good for
even
the
just
drivers.
finishing like not last.
Like battling like the lower top 5.
Yeah.
Like kind of Aston Martin kind of area.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a reach, but we'll see.
Well, dude, McLaren.
Yeah, that's true.
At this point, I don't even know because McLaren was last in Bahrain, both cars last year.
Yeah.
And then we're at the end of the season, as you know, fighting for P2.
I'm curious. I know they've had a lot of issues within the like management team and shit like that. So I'm sure that has a bit of an effect, and then I'm sure it's also just like engineering.
Yeah, I don't see them being good anytime soon. Realistically,
Yeah,
it would be cool. Would love to see it, but it might be just be a throwaway year already.
Yeah, I'm just happy that those two guys are probably better than other drivers on the grid, which I think is good. Just for their future.
Yeah, I wonder if the season continues in this way, if Renault/Alpine is going to think about pulling the plug, because they're a works manufacturer team and they're embarrassing themselves.
Yeah, they are.
So you're not selling any more cars for being in last.
True.
Yeah, it's just tough.
Yeah, because we like those guys.
Yeah, they're good guys. Also, I was listening to the P1 podcast today, and they're saying that they're talking about Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso, and they're saying that Ocon would beat Fernando every once in a while. So it's like,
oh yeah,
Fernando's not a god; he's not unbeatable by any means. So, and that also shows you how good of a driver Ocon is. So, there's hope.
Yeah, I hope those guys have seats next year.
Yeah, I mean they should. They're both they're both race winning drivers.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, Pierre did solid throughout AlphaTauri, and then pretty decent year last year.
Yeah, crazy how he left RB to go to hopefully a brighter future.
Yeah,
and then just
last year it was fine.
Yeah,
it was fine.
Yeah, not great. Like we thought that last year was bad for them, and then this year is like shocking.
Yeah, I mean because
they finished the year before last. They finished third.
What?
I think. Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, they beat McLaren
with Fernando and Ocon.
Yeah.
What?
So they just went downhill because I think it was. Yeah, I think they beat Ferrari.
Whoa.
In 2021.
No.
Yeah.
Pull that up. That sounds wrong.
Let me pull it up.
Maybe though.
Hey, I watched that season and you didn't. So
Yeah. Sounds wrong though. Like Charles in 2021.
Okay. I am wrong.
What is that?
It was Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Alpine. Maybe I'm thinking of 2022. Were they fourth? Yeah, they were fourth in 2022.
That's pretty good.
Okay. That's
Like,
what it was.
Yeah, 4th place.
Yeah.
You'll take that any
So
day.
best of the top 3. That's a lot of money. That's good.
Yeah. That's very good.
Okay, to a team we've kind of mentioned but have not gone fully into, Ferrari.
Ferrari. Pretty good weekend. I would say.
Great weekend, I think.
Yeah, I would say about as good as you get. I think qualifying was a little lackluster for Charles
And I would say Carlos.
and Carlos. Carlos might have been the 4 spot. Does that sound right?
He was, yeah.
He was? Okay. But I mean, 4, I think you maybe take that.
Yeah.
I don't know how they were looking that day.
But then the race pace was just electric. Killed it on the strategy.
Strat was good.
Absolutely flawless. Signs, once again, looking great.
Yeah.
Like beating Leclerc again. Still 20 seconds behind Max.
Mm-hmm.
But they're up there. They are up there.
They're definitely up there. I think, obviously, we've said this so many times. Great resume for Sainz. Keeping it up. And Ferrari just being that solid number 2 car right now. And I think it's just good for them. Their strategy's been good. They've been finishing races, which is good. Their pit stops have been good.
They're doing everything right.
They're doing everything right.
Everything that they can do. It's working
Yeah.
for them and was for Sainz especially. So great to see. Because who doesn't love Ferrari?
True. Our mics are red.
Yeah. There's a Ferrari poster back there. Or flag.
Yeah.
Made and bought in Italy.
Really?
Not by me. My mom got it for me. Before I was even into
Made
F1.
and bought. Who says bought?
Made and sold.
I don't know. Well, I just mean it's just like
Like,
funny.
I got it there.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and I think they make them there. I don't know. I could be
Probably
lying.
not.
Don't listen to me.
He's lying.
And then last but not least, Red Bull.
Red Bull. Yeah. Another great weekend.
So good.
Yeah.
Like, Checo did everything he needed to do. Max, of course, did the most and got the dub. But yeah, Checo, I think, was the big winner.
Yeah.
Because his seat is forever going to be talked about. And when you keep doing that, you're going to be there next year.
Yeah. I actually took note on that. My note was Checo is doing what he needs to be doing. And it's kind of like the Ferrari thing where he's not number 1, but he's doing his best and he's in second place. And that's really all Red Bull, I think, needs right now.
Yeah. It's still like he's still 12 seconds behind Max, I think it was.
Yeah.
Which is a lot, but it doesn't really matter. Like, even if it was 4 seconds, he wouldn't, and he didn't catch him. It's like not that big of a difference.
Yeah.
But he could have just been managing his tires too, because there's no point in pushing. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where his form continues to go.
Yeah, I don't know really what I feel about it because, like, obviously, seems like a nice guy, but I think as a fan, it would be interesting for someone else to be in that seat. He's also kind of old.
They're definitely more entertaining young drivers that
Yeah.
could be fun to see Max paired up against.
Definitely.
But as a team, you got to think about what's safe and what's been working.
Yeah, like, do you really need a younger guy to come in and crash your car?
Doesn't have to be a younger guy. Could be Carlos.
He's younger.
He's not like young.
Or he's not a
though.
young guy, but yeah,
He's not going to be crashing the car.
true. I mean, Carlos Max, that would get
I would love
genuinely spicy.
that. Yeah.
That would just
Yep,
be
yep.
crazy.
Cool. Hopefully, I wonder if you just had to say right now, who do you think the China track suits best?
I think Red Bull.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely Red Bull, but
It's looking like it's kind of looking like a Japan kind of speed wise, where it's like pretty medium to fast, and then you have like 2 hairpins, kind of like two slow speed.
Yeah, there's a few. Well, you see the one in the right corner?
Yeah,
That one's sneaky. That's going to be interesting.
that one's not as slow as you think it would be.
Okay.
I think the slowest one's definitely turn 1, and then that one you got to
Yeah,
get
that's
a little slow, but you can
180.
still. I think you can still carry like 3rd gear through that 2nd gear.
Damn.
Yeah,
Checo said that they're probably going to do well again. That's kind of what he insinuated.
Mm-hmm.
And then a reporter asked, where do you think you're going to struggle this year? And he said, mostly street circuits, uneven surfaces, curbs,
Yeah,
slow turns, stuff like that, walls.
interesting.
So,
Baku,
Yeah,
Singapore.
Baku. A lot of different tracks.
Yeah, Vegas
Maybe that's why they're making more street circuits.
to stop Red Bull.
Yeah.
yeah. Should we get into our predictions? What we got wrong, what we got right?
Yeah, let's do it.
So podium predictions. I only got the Max Verstappen pole.
Boring.
Correct.
Boring.
I guess crazy podiums. So my podium was Lando, Carlos, Charles.
You had Lando winning?
No, I went 3rd to 1st.
Oh.
Sorry.
Still crazy though.
Yeah, so I had Lando up there, and then Charles win. I think I was just riding off delusion from Australia with no Red Bulls on the podium, and thought maybe it could happen again. But future me, don't bet against Red Bull most of the time.
I got 3 correct this week. Pretty excited about that.
Good job.
I had Max pole, very boring. And then I had Max win. And then I had, my guess was Charles P2. That did not happen. And then I had Sainz P3, which actually did happen.
Yeah.
It didn't really, it's not like a clean one because I didn't have Checo in there, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I think picking who's in 3rd is arguably the hardest one to pick. Because it could be a lot of different people.
That's true.
Could be Charles,
definitely
could be Carlos. Lando's been in there. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point. I'll
Checo
take
could
that.
float down there. Yeah, I respect it. And then fantasy, I got 209. No, you got 209. I got 210.
Yep.
So pretty much even.
Very similar.
We'll still holding that gap.
Yeah.
But you never know when things could turn around.
Yeah. I think I'm going to change up my strategy a bit next week, but we'll
Stay
kind of get
tuned.
into that. Yeah.
Stay tuned. And then betting, I total lost 50 cents on the week. I was extremely close to going up big. I predicted 4 driver retirements. There were 3. Logan Sargent's adventure could have been my 4th, and I would have basically cut my losses in half with that. And then I had McLaren top 6, which did not happen because Oscar was close, but not close enough.
And then I want to hear what you got right.
Oh, and then I got right. What did I get right? Oh, I got Williams' first retirement, which is kind of legendary.
That's
Kind of
kind of
legendary.
What was the over or under or whatever?
Is plus 600, I
That's
think.
pretty fucking crazy.
Which is awesome. I think it's the highest of this year, at least.
Yeah.
And then I also bet Carlos beating Charles, I believe.
That sounds right.
And
That's a good bet.
It was like a bet, $1 to win $1. So just easy twofer.
I lost 20 cents. Not a bad weekend for us though. I mean, we're putting in $10, like only losing 20 cents, 50 cents. Like that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I had George beating Lewis, which hit. I had Carlos beating Lando, which hit. And then I had Yuki in points, which also hit, which I was really excited about.
Dang, yeah.
That was pretty cool. And then I think that was it.
Yeah.
Wasn't that it?
I think so.
So I went like,
All like
oh wait,
pretty
and then I had
safe.
Max pole.
Pole. Yeah. So all just good safe bets, and they worked out, which I respect.
I'm
start
slowly
doing
getting it
that more.
down. I was delusional. I had Ferrari, 2 cars, both cars in top 3.
Yeah.
Just like,
I mean, I was delusional as well.
Yeah.
I had Lando. I had a Lando win bet. I don't even know. It's not even worth it.
yeah.
But I'm feeling, after 4 races in, going to China, I feel confident that I'm going to be able to level my head a little bit and lock in some good predictions because we really understand the cars now, how the drivers are doing.
Definitely.
And then the only hard part's going to be we haven't watched a race in China, so we'll see if we can get it right.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just getting more and more data on the drivers, and like the bets like George beating Lewis. Like on another year, maybe you wouldn't bet that, but this year, that's a pretty decent bet, and it hit. So,
yes, sir.
Pretty excited.
Cool.
Yeah. I don't think let me check my notes.
Check them.
I think we kind of covered everything. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I'm just glad Japan delivered.
Japan definitely delivered.
I was pretty hyped, and it hasn't always in the past, and it was good.
It's also a sick track, so
Very sick track.
cool fans, beautiful country, beautiful people.
All around great. No complaints.
No complaints, and we're just going to keep this race getting better and better. What would you call that? How do you even explain that?
Like a pattern, like a trajectory.
Yeah. It's just going to get better and better.
I don't know. Abu Dhabi's going to be insane.
Yeah. Yuki win. We'll see.
Yeah. No, I wish, but probably not.
We'll see.
All right.
It's getting good, though.
Yeah, excited to check back in with you guys a couple days before China for the pre-race pod. We'll see you then.
Give us some comments.
What you want us to talk about? We'll cover anything and everything.
We read comments, shit like that. So
yeah, we respond to every comment. I have.
It's gonna be tough.
I have been.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Actually, I didn't respond to the chain.
Yeah,
because I didn't really know what to say.
It's a short though. On the video, I would.
Yeah,
totally respond.
Video comments, we'll respond to everything.
Thank you, Larissa, for watching. We're skipping ahead. I'll take it though.
Skipping ahead, anything, just the support. That's all we need. That's all we need.
All right. Have a good night or
Peace.
day, whatever. Bye.